There are, according to the director of the hospital, there is 7,000 people at Shifa right now. They are under total siege. They destroyed something like 45 dialysis machines. There are 36 premature babies that probably are dead by now. But there's no food, there's nothing. So should the Israeli army that is currently roaming, as you suggested, roaming all buildings and all rooms and all corridors of the hospital, should they be responsible for the goodwill of these people that are in the hospital?
So, as I said, we expect Israel to comply with international humanitarian law, and to the extent they are taking territory in Gaza, of course we would expect them to ensure that patients are treated humanely, that patients have access to food, to water, to medical care. We absolutely would agree with that proposition.
To the best of your judgment, have they been doing that?
I don't. Again,
okay.
I cannot speak to facts about it. Was a very actively evolving situation on the ground.
All right, the Israelis just destroyed this morning the last working flour mill in Gaza. It's where the only place where some flours are. Is that suspected to be a Hamas headquarters?
I again cannot speak to an individual strike where I don't have all the facts at my disposal.
And I have just two more questions. One, I think just to follow up on what Matt and others and so on have been saying, the American public is really opposed. They are for a ceasefire. They want a ceasefire. This is the first time that a ceasefire has become such a dirty word. So why not go along with the sentiment of the public? That would be quite democratic, wouldn't it?
So first of all, I've seen a number of polls about this very question, but it actually doesn't matter. We don't make our decisions based on polls. We make our decisions based on what we believe are the best foreign policy judgments on behalf of the American people and their national security interests. And the president and the secretary have come to the judgment that a ceasefire at this time would only benefit Hamas. But we have been very clear that we believe there should be expanded humanitarian pauses to protect civilians, that there should be ways for civilians to get out of harm's way, and that we should do everything we can to get humanitarian assistance in for civilians in Gaza. The secretary has spoken very clearly that in his judgment, far too many Palestinian civilians have been killed as a result of this conflict. Far too many children have been killed as a result of this conflict. There's a tragedy that has been inflicted upon the people of Gaza that is not of their own making. It's because Hamas launched a terrorist attack on October 7th. Israel has a right to conduct military operations to hold those terrorists accountable. We want them to do it in a way that minimizes civilian harm, and we want to do everything we can to get humanitarian assistance into civilians. And that is the work that we are doing every day to try to effectuate.